Hey there, cats and kitties. I am the Blues Man, Johnny Blues, and with this video, I'll be discussing my thoughts on Episode 3 of the anime series Shingeki no Bahamut Genesis. This is another badass episode, I have to say, with a twist that I didn't quite see coming, even though I knew something was off, something was amiss, but we're essentially picking up with Favreau and Amira on their impromptu journey to Helheim, and I love that every step of the way she's like, are we there yet? Is this the town ahead of us? All this kind of stuff. And he's like incredulous, screaming, no, it's far, far, far away. We are so far away from this place, and you know what? We're not going to make it as we are. We're going to have to get fuel, we're going to have to get victuals, that kind of stuff. So he pulls out of his pack, essentially a new bounty to go after. And I love how they kind of misdirect it, because of course you see him later climbing up this cliffside, and he's going after this plant, and a sort of giant dragon snake creature comes out, which sets off his bounty hunter alarm, but this isn't the bounty they're after at all. They're only after the plant because it's going to come into play later in the story. I love how they utilize it and sort of the twist that it revolves around. Of course, that picks up with Kaiser, who has kind of gotten himself ahead of them. He's been on their coattails, but he's actually in the location that they are going to be seeking their bounty, this town of Nebelville. He's kind of semi-conscious in the woods surrounding it. There's this thick fog encrusting it all, and it's kind of messing with his mind a little bit. But in his semi-conscious state, he's found by this girl, Rita, this little girl who ends up dragging him back to her homestead, introduces the parents and everything like that, and they're singing his praises, whining and dining him. And after, a night of this, a couple hours of this, they ask him, oh, by the way, Mr. Nobleman, sir, could you help us with these two creatures, these monsters, that will be coming in the morning and going to be eating our crops and destroying our villages and everything like that. Can you help us fend them off? And he's kind of reluctant at first, but Kaiser goes along with it, and we basically see that this little girl, Rita, somewhat of a snotty brat. She's like, you know what, I'm not eating this food, this maggot-encrusted crap anymore. She slams the door, goes outside, all this stuff. And Kaiser's like, let me handle this. So Kaiser relates to her kind of the story that plays on a lot of the surmises I had from the previous flashbacks. We've seen that his family was a noble family. His father was a noble knight under the king, and he was appointed with this job of protecting some, item of importance for the king that got looted by bandits, and because of this, the father was put to death. The family was basically disgraced and sent packing, thus removing the nobility. And I gotta wonder, because Kaiser's basically kind of pointing the blame at Favreau, if maybe Favreau's family or village of bandits, or whatever you want to call it, clan, might have been the bandits involved. It'll be interesting to see. But essentially, once the morning comes and this fight with these creatures has to take effect, we see that they're not creatures at all, but they are in fact Favreau and Amira. And the plant they've utilized is sort of caked into a handkerchief over their faces, so they're not suffering the mind-bending effects of the fog surrounding this little town, which is 200 years gone. This little girl, Rita the necromancer she's called, has turned everyone in that town who died ages ago into zombies, the undead, and basically we see a battle once they snap Kaiser out of it between the threesome of wiping out all these zombies. And of course, once he's just about to be pitched of killing her parent zombies, this little girl steps in the way, and it turns out the sort of Necronomicon-esque book that she's used, this demon power, to basically bring all these people back to life or make them undead, the Black Bible it's called, is the bounty Favreau was seeking. So he, basically turns it into the card, he goes and hands it in, he gets his rupees and everything like that. And it's interesting by the end of this episode, of course, with this twist in play, we see that this little girl was attacked by her parents in their last sort of undead moments, and Kaiser has offed them, and he couldn't bring himself to kill her now in her sort of dead zombified form. She's still intelligent, and she's now following him on this journey, his quest to follow and be on the coattails of Favreau and Amira. And it's interesting also, we find that Amira, she lost one of her wings stealing the God Key, but it's not an actual item, it's a soul essence now contained within her. She herself is the embodiment of this God Key, and you have God kind, demon kind, all these different elements. Curious to see what's going to happen and whether this is going to bring back the Dragon Bahamut. So once again, killer episode. Can't wait to see where we go from here. Otherwise, that'll be pretty much it for me on this, and I'll catch y'all later. Peace.